Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Solo ReacTalk. This morning, I'm going to be reacting to a video requested by Billy Grantham. It's called Ross's Game Dungeon Super Cult Tycoon. Yes, this is made on the Accursed Farms YouTube channel. If you want to check out my previous reactions to other Ross's Game Dungeon videos, remember the playlist card is going to be at the top. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. If you want to check out the original video as well as Accursed Farms YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, it's starting to be springtime, so you know what that means. Cult recruitment season. So I'm going to be covering Cult Tycoon, or the formal name, Super Cult Tycoon 2 Deluxe Edition.
So there was a Super Cult Tycoon 1. Guys, why are people playing cult games? I mean, it's interesting. I've never played cult types of games, you know. I've never even heard of such things. When I read the title of this request, I was like, Super Cult Tycoon, what's going on here? But yeah, let's continue. Let's see what Ross says about this game.
This is a cult management simulator. Now don't be fooled by the name. This is a prototype game, but it is overflowing with potential. Look at this opening screen. Build 3 monoliths to summon the mothership, then defend your compound until it arrives. Well, this is off to a good start already. I love how our cult has a clear vision from the beginning, something we can work towards. Now,
I don't know, maybe they should have given you an option on what your cult's objective is going to be. You know, either summoning the mothership, the aliens, or becoming a cult that will control your country, or becoming a cult that, you know, focuses on converting people to as many people as possible into your religion or something like that, you know. Yeah, give them a variety of options. But I guess, you know, having one is also easy, you know. You have a clear objective.
United Blistonians isn't a bad name, but I wanted to make my own. Although, you'd be surprised how hard it is to come up with an ominous cult name that isn't already taken. Take a look at these. These are all in use by one group or another. Well, I'm saying hell with it. We're the
Children Restoration, Children of True Light, Children of New... Why is everything children? Fellowship Initiative, Seventh Day Initiative, New Dawn Initiative, New Dawn Restoration, Fellowship of Change, New Dawn... Oh, gosh. Guys, no.
Children of Restoration. I'm probably offending some church in Baltimore right now, but that's just too bad. We need to summon the mothership, and it's not going to happen if people think we're the Mickey Mouse Club.
Why don't you just call yourself the 3 monoliths? That's it, you know? The 3 monoliths. Cult.
Made for the mysticism pageant at Super Friendship Club. It's altercationtime.com. Wow, that tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? Let's get started. So we start off and a disembodied voice tells us we're already running from the FBI after our last escapade. Boy, that puts us at a big disadvantage already. This is going to be a short game. Also, the camera and van movement here are kind of choppy.
Are you controlling the van with your mouse cursor? Like as you're dragging on that road, because I can see there's a mouse cursor there with the green square thingy. So probably you're dragging the vehicle, you know, right clicking or left clicking to make it move. Huh, okay.
It's the game. There's no way around it. Oh yeah, this is bad. We need to leave now. Alright, here's the first big thing I dislike about this game. I hate how the background is always out of focus. Turning down the graphics doesn't help. It's always like this.
I'm not sure. I don't see any problem with that. It's not really much of an issue for me. But yeah, I guess I can understand.
This is apparently called tilt shift photography. And while that could be cool for screenshots, I hate this for actually playing it. But again, no way to fix it. So after wandering the woods, we enter this convenient clearing with a big barn in the center. A perfect place to start our cult. This feels like a shortcut to me. We didn't have to buy the property, know someone who owns it, get permits. Now if this was a full-fledged sim, I feel like you should start off with a certain amount of money, or know a certain number of people, and work your way up to acquiring property like this.
Kool-Aid? What's Kool-Aid? Followers and then money, $952. Okay.
Movies might make it look like all you need to start a cult is a bunch of hooded robes and a bonfire, but the reality is it takes a lot of time, work, and money for a cult to be successful. And it can all go wrong at any stage. That's why this is a perfect theme for a sim game. But anyway.
Should I be worried that Ross knows the intricacies and the details on how to make a cult? Should I be worried? But no, maybe he just researched this on on Google, you know. But yeah, what he says, I think it's also true that, you know, there's more to making a cult than just having robes and, you know, having a bonfire and, you know, doing it out in the rural areas where no one can see you. You know, there is more of an organization aspect to it as well. And also keeping people in the cult, you know, requires a lot of, you know, intricacies and, you know, a lot of thought behind it, because people will eventually get bored of what you have to say. People will get disenchanted with the cult's vision because there is no vision, you know. So it requires a lot of thought process before it can actually initiate. So yeah, I'm just wondering, how is this game going to approach that? But what's Kool-Aid? I'm not sure.
We have property, we have some money, so our next big step, of course, is to get some followers. Now in the game, this is a simple operation. You just drive your windowless van playing an ice cream jingle into town, and they'll walk towards your van, or you can just grab them directly. While I love the ice cream van music and how this is named the Enlightenment van, to me, this needs to be developed into a much more complex process. Like driving around and grabbing people to come into a van will be one method of recruitment. And
I mean, this is just not possible in real life, right? I mean, abducting people from the streets like this and then taking them to your headquarters of your cult operation, and you think they're just going to accept that they've been abducted and are going to be joining the cult? No, man, they're gonna fight. Yeah, this is odd. This is odd. How to collect followers, it's very strange.
Not necessarily the most stable one. Better methods would be to campaign on college campuses, some church groups, yoga or meditation classes, natural food stores. In my opinion, those are the rich spots for recruitment.
Yes, this I can agree with, you know, because I wouldn't necessarily say they're cults, but you know, these charismatic churches, okay, maybe they are a bit of cultish, you know, they have that cultish thing about them. But charismatic churches and, you know, these other religious institutions that, you know, people join, some of them, you know, they have these envoys or envoys who come to, you know, school premises, well, mainly universities. Some of them hang around the libraries, some of them hang around public malls, you know, and public areas, I should say, public spaces. You know, it will always be two people. Two people. Either it's a man or a woman, or it's a woman and a woman, or it's a man and a man. It's always two people, you know. They come with their Bible, or they come with some sort of pamphlet, you know, and they keep walking around and looking for people. They're always scanning for particular type of people. I don't know what type, but you know, they don't always just go to every single person that they see. They're always targeting a specific type of person, you know, and then they come up to them saying, "Oh, my child, do you believe in God? Oh, my child, you're so beautiful. You know, you can spread your goodness to everybody else." And, you know, they give you all these speeches, and then they tell you a lot of stuff about where they which religion that they believe in, and this organization that helps people and all that kind of stuff. And yes, like it requires a lot of people who know what they're doing, and I've seen this stuff in action, and I've even experienced something like that. And yeah, it's weird. It's really weird, but people do that kind of stuff.
Depending on your cult's message. Anyway, once you round up a full load, you bring them back to the barn, then bam! They're converted into cultists and your FBI wanted rating increases. See, they are simplifying this way too much. Bringing non-believers into the fold, I would argue, is the hardest part of the cult building process. There are so many stages, and you're never going to get 100% conversion rate like you do in this game. Ideally, you would have a smaller introductory compound that new recruits stay in for a couple months before they join the real deal. See, as you get more resources, that could be a potential upgrade for the simulator. Basically, you want an easy exit for the initiates who are never going to fit in with the group anyway.
What are they wearing? The initiates. What are they wearing? Or the followers?
But you want to cut off and isolate all the others from the outside world so that the cult becomes their family, and they're not led astray by the temptations of modern civilization. Also, this takes time. There shouldn't be any of this instant conversion crap. This should take at least a few minutes real time. In a good cult sim, you should always be planning ahead. Anyway, we have our fresh acolytes. I like how they're dressed. But what's this? We have idle cultists standing around? Not on my watch. Idle hands are the devil's workshop, so let's take care of that right now. Crafts Corner. Acolytes sew a variety of wallets and vintage jeans for international export and fun.
Who is buying these things? But anyways, okay.
Perfect. Wow, look at the size of that. And the smokestacks. That is some heavy-duty fun they're going to be having. Now you may notice that now that I have my followers, my Kool-Aid supply is going down. This is essentially your cult's morale meter. If you run out of Kool-Aid, your cultists will get spooked and start leaving.
So it's some sort of drug? Substance drug? Interesting. Okay. So the more they take it, the more they feel happy, and they're happy to be part of the cult because they're taking this substance. And once they have withdrawals from the substance, that's when they realize that, I've joined a cult. And then they try to escape, probably. Okay, interesting.
To offset that, you have to build Kool-Aid breweries. Again, this is too simple for me. It's a tricky formula determining who's going to stay or not. It depends on individual personalities, how many motivational speeches you're giving. Are you teaching your followers daily lessons about your cult's beliefs? Do they have a routine they follow? Do you have celebrations? Are people making friends? And so on.
Yes. I also agree with him. Kool-Aid is just not enough. I would also say, you do need proper activities and functions that your cult is going to be doing to unify your people, so that they don't feel as if they're still alienated within their cult. And, they all have this brotherly and sisterly love, and, they all yearn for the same mission, the same objective that the cult headmasters or leadership have envisioned, and yeah, I think really what Ross just said there was correct. Ross, I'm worried. I think you researched a bit too much on this subject, but anyways, let's continue.
While yes, you could drug Kool-Aid to keep people in kind of a haze, that's a short-term solution. No drug is going to be as powerful as a sober mind that's been focused in the right direction.
That's true, because those are the hardest people to try and, to show them that what they are doing is actually wrong, because when they're sober, when they fully understand what's going on and that they accept it, it's very difficult to try and convince those people that, guys, this is not right. What you're doing out here is not right. It's not okay. they will come with their own logic, they will come with their own excuses and try to justify why they're part of this cult, why they're doing all of these things in this cult. So yes, having a follower or an acolyte or a someone who joins the cult who is mentally stable, who understands what's going on, is very powerful. Unlike those who are continuously drugged. Those ones are always going to be dependent on the drug. They're not dependent on supporting the cult. Yeah.
Next, we need to build some housing for future acolytes. These are pretty cheap. We don't need to splurge here, as the children of restoration are humble servants of a higher force. So this pattern continues for a while. You keep driving into town or nearby farms, recruit more followers, and your economy, FBI rating, and scale of operations increase, and you get more upgrades along the way. One upgrade I had really mixed feelings about was the Robert Sentry, which will round up stray cultists looking to leave. On one hand, we're clearly crossing over into fiction now.
Robot Sentry? What? Why does it look like just a white ball? What is that?
If you want to round up cultists, you use search parties, dogs, perimeter patrols, that sort of thing. On the other hand, this is an homage to the show The Prisoner, where a giant rover sentry would always stop the protagonist from leaving the area. The Prisoner was a very surreal show. I've seen the whole thing and I'm still not sure
What is that? I need to watch this show. Just for this. Whatever that thing is. Wow.
What happened. So while the reference to the show is cool, I feel like this would be good as an unlockable or something for a goofier expansion pack. I think we're straying out of sim territory with this one. Let's talk about the economy for a minute. In this game, you get the bulk of your money from making the wallets and jeans, but you also get a little bit in tithes from new followers. If we're going to be realistic about this, I think it should be the other way around. In real life, donations from followers are hugely important. You need to be convincing people that your cult is all they'll ever need. So they should cast off their old life full of material possessions and donate all of that stuff to the cult in order to further your cause.
Yeah, this also just reminds me again of these charismatic churches, with the priests keeping their congregants, in their trust, in their faith, telling them that if you pay me this certain amount of money, your life will be good, you'll have a wife, you'll have a husband, any type of bad luck that you have will be wiped away from you for as long as you continue to support your church, or you support your pastor, or you support your father or your papa, whatever they call the person who leads the church, And a lot of these people in these churches, they give out a lot of money to these people, And the leadership of these charismatic churches, they are living a very lavish lifestyle, while their followers, they're in debt because they've been giving so much money to this particular person or to this particular church. And there's no way of helping these kind of people. There's just no way of helping them. They have to help themselves to get out of that mental bind that they have with this church and with the church leadership. There's only so many things we can tell them. There's only so much that we can try and tell them that this is wrong, that what you are doing is not going to help you in any way, so yeah, this is very important for any sort of cult or charismatic church. It needs its followers to be the one to be supporting it financially, not necessarily creating products to sell to people. Yeah, but it's an interesting endeavor here in this super cult Tycoon game, where you're making wallets and other trinkets to be sold. Yeah, I've never seen something like that, but yeah, interesting.
For poorer members, it just means pawning off their goods, but for wealthier ones, it means taking out a mortgage on their house or donating additional property. This stuff can be your lifeline. Even then, for your true believers, you want to get some of them back out there convincing their friends and family to donate their money and possessions to the cult. I mean, yeah, you still want to keep selling the handmade crafts on the side, but getting fresh money coming in should be an ongoing need in the game. Anyway, after a while, your FBI rating increases even more and they start sending units to your compound. You have to stop them from entering your barn at all costs, because you lose mysticism each time they get a peek. To prevent this from happening, you can build public relations buildings to bribe them to go away. To me, this right here is where the game falls apart. I have problems with this on multiple levels. First, only the biggest cults have dedicated PR buildings like this.
Wait, is it throwing money at the police officer? Oh my god. Oh, this game is funny. This game is funny, guys. No.
If you're operating out of a barn in the woods, you don't have a PR department. Second, we're bribing FBI officials? Excuse me? Now, I'm not saying it's impossible for an FBI agent to become corrupted, but the vast majority of agents are not going to back down if your cult throws bags of money at them. Do you have any idea how many background checks federal law enforcement officials undergo? Actually, no, background investigations. We're talking about the FBI, not the local town sheriff and his cousin deputy. The feds are largely vetted. You offer to bribe them, you're giving them a nice, juicy excuse to bust your ass.
And look how many of these PR buildings are there in this, cult settlement. I mean, and they're all throwing money. Like, this game is weird, guys. Yeah, the building has a helicopter pad on the top. I'm not sure what that's about. But yeah, okay, let's continue.
Third, law enforcement should not feel welcome to come in and stroll about your compound. If an FBI truck is rolling up, they either need a warrant or need to get the hell off your property. The end. Now, if they do have a warrant, that's another story. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now, if they wanted to make this more real world, they could do sweeps for surveillance equipment. Or worst of all, try to root out an undercover agent who has infiltrated your compound. That would only happen at late game stages, though. Before the FBI or the ATF start knocking on your door, you know who's likely to show up? Child Protection Services, if they think any children aren't getting a proper education.
And they don't need a warrant, I think. They don't need to have a warrant. They will just go in.
The IRS, if you're not on top of your taxes. City officials making sure your paperwork or permits are in order.
Yes. Just like if you were to make a cult here in South Africa, there would be other institutions within the government that would first investigate you, you know. It would be SARS, the South African Revenue Services, just like the IRS of the United States of America. You know, we also have a Child Protection Services here. They will also come to your cult settlement and check what's going on there, you know. Even the local police would also start investigating before it, you know, goes further, or should I say down the line or down the chain of, you know, the security apparatus of the country, you know. Where they have the FBI, we have what we call the Hawks. So they would also be coming here too. And what is it called again? It's a Chapter 9 institution that deals with religious institutions and investigates and also solves any type of confusion or conflicts of human rights and religious practices. I forgot what they call the Chapter 9 institution, but yes, it deals with stuff like that. And you know, there are other institutions, various other institutions that would first investigate you, you know, before it is dealt by a higher office. So, you know, making a cult here is not going to be easy. Making a cult in the United States of America is also not going to be easy. Yet, people still try. And some do succeed somehow. You know, probably they're bribing the politicians or bribing, you know, very powerful, influential people. Yeah.
That stuff can all bring you down long before the feds even know who you are. Your first line of defense with your cult is isolation. This game seems to cover that. But once the man knows where you are, Your next step should be to lawyer up. Make the law work for you. You should be handing those bags of money to the lawyers, not the feds. They're the ones who are going to turn these trucks around or make them wish they never came here. You want to get sued for harassment? Because you're acting like you do. So I don't like this PR building system one bit. But sooner or later, if your cult keeps growing in influence and achieving greatness, the feds are likely to raid your place, especially in the post-Homeland Security world that we live in. Now, the way you handle this, I think, should be based on how close to our goals we are. I haven't started building the monoliths yet, because in this game, once you do that, your FBI rating will not stop increasing. These monoliths get their attention. They can't handle the truth. But really, what this game should do is if the feds were to raid you at this stage, then your best bet would be to have pre-built underground panic rooms, where any VIPs, guns, known felons could hide out while they conduct a search. Like, this might get to be an issue if one of your cult members is related to someone influential. Like, say, a congressman's daughter is part of your cult. You might think she would be more trouble than she's worth, but she could also be bringing in the most money into your cult. So it's really a balancing act, perfect for a sim game. But once you have enough resources, you construct the monoliths, then it's game on. I love how the tone changes here. Now this feels like a world-changing event.
Yeah, like even the skies have turned into night sky time, you know. It's not like it's no longer just a sunny afternoon. Now we're in the evening. Huh.
But God, I hate this PR building system. Because let's face it, if we are this close to our salvation, then now is when you bring out the guns. None of this PR building crap. The game should switch over to a tactical shooter at this point. You should bring everyone into the barn and start firing from the windows. You should keep whole families together, especially the children, because the feds will think twice about spraying the place with bullets if they know it's full of kids and other non-combatants. Now, if you were prepared, you would have gas masks, and if you were really prepared, you would have underground tunnels also, but that's a lot of work. 50% mysticism! No! We are so close, my children! Alright, I hate to be a buzzkill with such a great build-up like this, but the ending to this game is really weak.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, you know. Make PR buildings and they throw money at the FBI. Even the helicopters, it's... That's interesting.
Whether you win or lose, the ending is totally anticlimactic. If you win, you drive away and the ominous voice says hateful things to you. I don't even feel like showing it. It's just poorly written.
No, show it, show it.
It just ruins the whole mood. But here's the bad ending. So yeah, that's Cult Tycoon. I think there's a lot to be learned here. Cult Tycoon is serving up a prototype of a game that should be made. In the past, I would have said this game concept is money lying in the ground. If someone were to turn this into an all-out simulator, I think you could sell copies for sure. Nowadays, it's anyone's guess if a game will be successful or not, but there is currently no game like this on the market. There are no other cult simulators I know of, except for some cheap web game I found.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know if this will sell. You know, definitely with me, I would not buy something like this. Making cults, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'd rather focus on making, you know, galactic empires in Stellaris, or making a civilization in Civilization, you know, the Civilization games. But making cults, that just seems so small and just pointless, really. Yeah.
It never hurts to have a unique concept for a game. Alright, I should finish this up, but before I do, I know some people out there are saying, Ross, now I want to get involved with the cult, but I don't know what to do. Come on, you can't leave me hanging like this. Well, not to worry, I've got you covered. Now, I can't tell you what cult you should join, as that's a very personal decision, but I can at least get you started. If you want to get involved with a cult, the best resource I know is the Fellowship for Intentional Community homepage, or IC.org. This has everything: books, blog entries, its own magazine, various events, and most important, its directory. Here, every group that's anybody is going to advertise themselves and give you some details on what they're all about. There's a big variety too. For example, do you hate technology and think it is evil? Are you tired of so-called religious people who don't really follow their faith and want to be with the true believers? Do you love the Second Amendment and want to live in a community where every single citizen is armed at all times? Do you want to find neighbors with similar views that shouldn't be creepy to intentionally live near to, yet somehow is? Or maybe you're a vegan and hate meat eaters and never want to be around another one again. Do you want to be involved with some expensive co-housing group that might be a scam? Do you like busting your ass doing farm work? This one in particular will make you popular with a lot of groups. Do you have so much debt your life is effectively ruined? Or you're on the run from Johnny Law and want to fall off the grid? Do you have no direction in your life and want others to help find it for you? Or maybe you're like me and want to see what your best options are before we exit peak oil and enter a long collapse scenario. Well, if any of these situations describe you, then you'll find what you're looking for at the Fellowship for Intentional Communities. Or maybe you've got a cult ready to go and need to find some followers. Now, I should warn you, a lot of these entries, I'd say even the majority, are not cults. But you bet your ass some of them are. You'll have to read between the lines. It takes time to look through the directory and figure out who is actually going to start summoning the mothership or not. But hey, if you're not willing to invest time into this, cult life is not for you. Okay.
Yeah, it's not for me. Definitely it's not for me.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Time for awards. First award, bifocal vision. I never got used to that damn blurring. Second award, why hasn't someone done this yet? This is a game concept waiting to happen. There are multiple prison simulator games out there, but we have nothing for cults. Somebody might want to get on that. Okay, that's all I have for this game. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be one of the worst named games I've played. Until then, it's altercation time.
No, seriously, I need to watch this TV show, or is it a movie? I need to watch it. Okay guys, yes, that's it with Ross's Game Dungeon Super Cult Tycoon, made on the Accursed Farms YouTube channel. Yeah, this game is unique. I don't think I've ever heard of a cult, themed game, and yeah, this is definitely something else. Ross said it was a prototype, right? Meaning like it's not really fleshed out, it's not yet completed. But yeah, it was odd. It was odd. Making a cult, making sure that your cult grows and, finishes its objective in building monoliths to summon a mothership. Yeah, it's just interesting. But, after playing it once, do you want to play it again? Because it's kind of the same, situation. Like nothing really is different about it. Because you can finish the game, right? And then when you want to start a new game, probably it's going to be like the same map, the same area. Maybe they're going to change the trees here or there, but then otherwise everything will be the same. You have to build PR buildings, you have to build workshops, you have to build places where your cultists live, you have to build your Kool-Aid. So it's just a repetition of the same thing over and over again. And I don't think anyone would enjoy something like that. Or maybe it's just me. I wouldn't enjoy something like that. Where there isn't something else added into it. Like what if there was an earthquake and it destroyed some of your buildings, or you're competing with another cult 2 kilometers away, or something. Add something more to it instead of just doing the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, interesting game, guys. Yes, that's it. Billy Grantham, thank you for thank you for this suggestion. It was quite an eye opener. Yeah. And yeah, guys, that's it. Remember, if you want to check out the original video as well as Accursed Farm's YouTube channel, the links are in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I will see you guys next week. Okay? Bye bye.